In our fast-changing world, traditions like the White House Correspondents' Dinner are important.
I mean, really? What is this dinner? And why am I required to come to it?
Connie's the one, being very diplomatic in the meetings, Well, that's good. It's great. We're all on the same pattern because at the end of the day, freedom is what we all want. The leads will come out like, North Korea saying, what? Okay, all right. Hold my purse, Mr. President, hold my purse.
And Fox News is sort of like a Waffle House. Yeah, it's relatively normal in the afternoon, but as soon as the sun goes down, there's a drunk lady named Janine threatening to fight every Mexican who comes in. You can't throw me out. I know the real president.
It's the White House Correspondents' Dinner, a uniquely Washington tradition. The first dinner actually took place back in 1921. It only had 50 people. This year, it's going to be star-studded. It's going to have a guest list over 2,500 people. It's a rare chance for the press corps to let its hair down and socialize with Washington brokers and celebrities. Sometimes gets criticized for that. 16 presidents and vice presidents since Calvin Coolidge have attended the dinner. One who did not, Donald Trump, never made an appearance during his presidency, instead sent his press secretary. In recent years, a speaker, typically a comedian, does roast the commander-in-chief. And this year's roaster is joining us now, stand-up comedian and correspondent of The Daily Show, Roy Wood Jr., who we're all hoping forgets our names by tomorrow night.
You never met us.
Yeah,
Wipe it clean.
Caitlin, and Poppy, good to see you.
And Honey, I'm Anderson Cooper. It's great to meet you.
Okay, this is the weirdest gig, right? Like, the people in the room aren't your audience. And how do you practice?
You have to still remember that regular people are also watching this. That room represents like the 1% of the power and how decisions are made in this country, but the people that are affected by those decisions are watching the program too. So I think there's a way to honor both audiences, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's a gig. And that's what I have to tell myself while I sit and comb through these jokes at 1 o'clock in the morning in New York. But it's a good time. And I think it's an honor to be able to do it because when you really look at the way the power dynamics are set up in this country, very few citizens get an opportunity to have a microphone in front of everybody who has stuff that needs to be heard. Now, the important part is that you want to make it funny. I don't think I need to get up there and be just right. Like, there's a humor to righteousness balance that you have to find within what you're doing. So that's the part you can't do in the comedy club because you cannot go, oh, joke, joke, joke. Oh, Joe Biden and Kamala, oh, re-election. Also, did you know that journalists are getting locked up abroad?
Right.
It's like, this is just
Which is the line you have to walk, right? It's half a political event.
Yeah.
I mean, fundamentally, do you have a sense of, like, how do you even make a joke in the age when there is no shame?
Well, I think you still make the joke. There's still a punchline. Now, the shame part is about whether or not the joke can influence change. I don't think the Correspondents' Dinner, I mean, we would have to check and do the research, but I don't know of any politician that got hit with a joke and was like, you know what, let me go ahead and reconsider my whole platform.
Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, he said, let me start a platform.
Yeah.
Right.
But, like, to just... There's nothing I can... You think there's the Ron DeSantis jokes I got in the clip for tomorrow. You think that Ron DeSantis tomorrow's like, you know what, man, you're right. Go and put the Black history back in them books.
A glimmer of where this is going?
We would hope. I saw you had that hope in your eye. You hope
it was
Ron
brief, and then, like, a flame went out.
He's fighting Mickey Mouse.
Okay. You know, this
He's fighting Mickey Mouse. You can't change that person's mind with a joke. It's possible. I'm raising my voice.
No, I love it. It's morning energy.
We love it. We love energy.
All jokes, but I love your story, too. I want our viewers to get to know you a little bit before they see you up there. The fact that, you're born here in New York, but then you grew up in Alabama.
Yeah, I was born in New York. I grew up in Birmingham. My father was a radio journalist, but he deliberately embedded himself in pretty much any black conflicts that were going on. Black platoons in Vietnam, Soweto. He was in Rhodesia, Zimbabwe now. And then I got to college. Stuart Scott was my North Star for journalism. I wanted to be funny and talk about sports. Got down to college. Got in trouble. Apparently, you have to pay for clothes when you go to the mall. You do not just get to leave with them. You have to give them money.
But
I did not. But that's what got me in a scandal.
Because that year you had FAM University gave you a year off to think about
Suspension.
things.
Suspension is the word.
It's a gap year
That's
before
when
we
you
do
started. That's when you started this comedy, right?
But to the credit of Florida A&M University, they allowed me to come back and get that journalism degree, and that gave me a double-edged sword because now I'm a comic and I'm a journalist. I was doing radio, and the irony of it now is that as much as I didn't want to be like my father, topically speaking, that's literally what I do now, is talk about the world issues. I'm just a little funnier.
It's poetic. Who are your targets for tomorrow night?
See, y'all, I know what you're trying to ask me, and I'm trying to
Like
answer
if there's
it
a
without
brunette who's
answering
really into Alabama, like with
yes,
that
I'm gonna talk
person,
about what happened this week. I gotta talk about everything this week. Let me
something
just say
happen this week?
There was a lot of stuff that happened this week. There were many things that happened this week, and those things have to be discussed in a fair way, in a very fair way.
Kevin McCarthy, I think, is bracing for that, so don't worry.
No, trust me, I'm not finna lose my job. I'm not trying to get in trouble, okay?
Roy
That's
Wood
the
Jr.
most important part of the correspondence dinner is leave employed.
That's your goal. All right, leave employed. I love that. Roy Wood Jr., we're all going to be there. We cannot wait to see what you have prepared. I know you've been preparing really hard for this.
Thank you all.
Can't wait.